What's up everyone? Alex here. Here are 12 games that you voted for as the best games of the year, from January to March. This is all ordered based off of a poll that I posted here on the channel's community tab and our Discord. So let's check out how this all panned out, shall we? But first, I want to add a very special mention to a game that I admittedly forgot to add to the poll, but is absolutely deserving to be on this list. Trails to Azure. Trails to Azure is the exciting conclusion to the Crossbell duology, which many believe is the best Trails arc that's out in the West. I personally couldn't agree more. Looks might be deceiving, but the story, characters, and gameplay hold up really well to this day. Pretty good, considering the Crossbell games are more than a decade old. And while it didn't get its time of day in the poll that I mentioned, I've no doubt that it would have ranked really high on this list. That said, I'm glad that I was able to recognize this truly special game in this way, as it ranks as one of my favorite games of the year. So, if you haven't yet, I urge you to check out Trails from Zero. You might just want to finish the story and pick up Azure. While I am hesitant to call it entirely wholesome, as you will be subject to some heart-wrenching moments and the occasional bully, A Space for the Unbound is a lot lighter fare than its mental health warnings portray. I love exploring this small Indonesian town from the 90s, not just from the perspective of someone who had similar experiences living in that general part of the world, but also as a game that is so ambitious that it took its creators 8 long years to get it right. And despite the long wait, I'm proud to say that A Space for the Unbound accomplishes so much with so little. And if you're ready to take on an adventure with lighter fare and memories that'll stay with you for a very long time, I highly recommend taking this journey sooner rather than later. Theatrhythm Final Bar Line will make you laugh, smile, cry, and relive some of your best memories in the Final Fantasy series. It'll remind you of why you loved Final Fantasy to begin with, and maybe even turn you into a fan if you've never played a single one. And it'll do so whether or not you've got friends and loved ones by your side to play with or against. Many will most certainly overlook Theatrhythm Final Bar Line as yet another rhythm game, and that's okay. But for the ones who did choose to take on this magical musical journey, I've no doubt that a plethora of good vibes started setting off like fireworks soon after you finished your first song. Check out the playable demo, with a save that carries over to the full game, to see what it's all about. In a quarter filled with many surprise hits, Bayonetta Origins is a little bit of a trip outside of what we usually expect from Bayonetta. Despite that, Bayonetta Origins is a fun, fantastic, and a worthy side trip that is absolutely one of the most fun experiences of the year. I played the demo recently, and I love it. I know the art style might be surprising for some, but trust me when I say that you're gonna love it. Check out the demo right now, and you'll see what I mean. I don't normally talk about a lot of visual novels on this channel, but when I do, you know that it's a big enough deal. Paranormasight came out of nowhere after being revealed on the Nintendo Direct. This is a surprisingly really good visual novel by Square Enix, of all people, and the kinds of scares and situations it throws at you are sure to frighten, even if you're just reading mostly what's going on. As Stephen King says, monsters are real, and ghosts are real too. They live inside of us, and sometimes they win. If there's one singular thing that I can credit One Piece Odyssey in achieving, it's that it managed to make a fantastic and chill JRPG. While the lack of difficulty will deter fans who want a more challenging experience, anyone looking for a game that's easy to jump into and have fun with will have a blast playing through this adventure. For One Piece veterans, this is an absolute feast for the senses, and serves as a perfect way to relive some of the best moments in the series' history. And for newcomers to One Piece, this is a great way to sample the very best the series has to offer, while still giving yourself the option to experience the full breadth of its story after finishing the game. And with the recently announced story DLC coming, you'll have a brand new adventure waiting for you in the future. Check out the playable demo and carry over your save to the full game. Hogwarts Legacy came and went, but that doesn't make it any less important in modern games. This authentic representation of life at Hogwarts is so cool that it's dazzled so many people with its fun design, engaging narrative, and gameplay that'll even make the most jaded of Harry Potter fans smile. Everyone I talk to who has played the game has sung its praises. And while I'm reluctant to bring up the baggage that it brings to the table, the discourse surrounding it has certainly created a larger conversation that reaches far beyond its borders. While its story has been divisive, it cannot be denied that Fire Emblem Engage's gameplay is far better than what it looks like. Featuring incredible level design, as well as a plethora of Fire Emblem heroes joining alongside you as you strike down your enemies, this brand new Fire Emblem was recently revealed to have been made to celebrate the anniversary of the series. And you can tell that the design was unhinged, allowing for intelligent systems to fully express themselves without any limits. The result, of course, is a game that's just overflowing with love for the series, and one of the best tactical RPG experiences I have played in a long while. Who would have thought that combining action gameplay with music would be a smash hit? Joining an illustrious list of surprise hits in 2023, Hi-Fi Rush is a stunning game that takes me back to the time when classic character action games were still an emerging genre. Combine this with a banging soundtrack that you'd love to smack enemies with, as well as an incredibly easy to learn but difficult to master gameplay, and you've got a combination of things that shouldn't technically work. But Hi-Fi Rush just beat all the odds, surprising us not only with its release, but also its incredible gameplay, all at less than half of the cost of a full-priced AAA game. What hasn't been said about Like a Dragon Ishin? It's one of the many elusive games that we never got in the West, and now it's here. Like a Dragon Ishin brings back the likenesses of Kiryu, Majima, and company, and plasters them onto well-known feudal-era personalities. And that right there, the feudal-era Japan component, is what makes this game truly special. Combining the action-based gameplay that fans have come to know and love from Yakuza, mixed in with a more refined take on weapon combat when compared to those games, Like a Dragon Ishin has been well worth the wait. And if you're curious how it plays, there's a combat demo available for you to check out. With a previous game setting the standard for many of its gameplay systems, Atelier Ryza 3 takes the momentum of these innovations and manages to figure out a way to complement them in interesting ways. And while not everything is perfect in Ryza's final adventure, it's certainly one that I'll remember for a very long time. When the credits finally rolled, I felt extremely emotional in a way that very few games had done so before. To me, Ryza and her friends aren't just characters that grow alongside one another. They're our friends too. And to see them triumphantly stand together at the end of their journey, past histories be damned, is a testament to the merits of long-term storytelling. Much like how it started, Atelier Ryza 3 ends this trilogy with a wholesome narrative, an exciting battle system, and a refined crafting system to boot, all of which are the perfect ingredients for a fantastic gaming concoction that caps off an incredible journey, one that's a must-play for anyone who's joined her in her previous adventures. While I didn't finish the original Resident Evil 4 until a decade or so ago on Twitch, what I will say is that I've always had an intense admiration for this game, to the point that I've owned multiple iterations of it over the years. So when Capcom announced that Resident Evil 4 was being remade with the same care and attention to detail as the previous games, I immediately put it on my wishlist. I played the demo on my Steam Deck, and I can't believe how much better the atmosphere, the gameplay, and everything was. So it's no surprise that the game sold 4 million copies in its first week, which is yet another new milestone for this game. But I gotta be real here. Now that we've redone Resident Evils 1 to 4 and made new games in 7 and 8, can we please see a modern remake of Resident Evil Code Veronica? That's a game that really needs an update. But for now, The Ganados are waiting for us to come back to it, and we're living in a dream where Resident Evil 4's back again. If you're surprised that Octopath Traveler 2 topped this list, you probably shouldn't. It's a predominantly JRPG channel after all. To say that Octopath Traveler 2 far exceeded my expectations feels like an understatement. While some will choose to break down the game to its individual parts, what cannot be denied is how these small things add up to what is essentially one of the most extremely polished and high-quality RPGs of the year. Every moment spent in the world of Celestia will have you engaging with it in multiple ways, may it be through its rebalanced combat and progression systems, or its more engaging stories and presentation. I normally don't find myself using superlatives and flowery words to describe my experience in games, but Octopath Traveler 2 fires on all cylinders and has instantly become one of my favorite games in recent memory. And if you haven't taken the plunge, there's a generous 3-hour timed demo whose saves carry over to the full game. And that, my friends, are the best games from January to March 2023, as voted by you. But to be honest, there were a ton of other really awesome games that came out during that time frame. Have you played any other games that you feel were the best of the year so far? No judgments, of course. I'm just genuinely curious. Post your thoughts in the comments below, and let's talk about it. And if you somehow missed any of the games mentioned here, check out the description of this video to find links for purchase. Using these links will help the channel out tremendously. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you in the next video.